Hi, I'm Vinny Garofalo. Welcome to Broadway Sunoco in White Plains.
A boy said, I don't understand parents. If I'm noisy, they spank me. If I'm quiet, they take my temperature. I understand TV advertising. It can increase your sales. Call us. Aging is a matter of the mind. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. But if you're in business, sales matter. Try advertising on TV. Call Glendora TV Ads.
Here at BTJ, we're serious about maintaining our environment. Whether you're responsible for maintaining a wastewater collection system or having problems locating bad piping, our computerized video inspection and pressurized technology is the answer. Our staff is highly trained and experienced in pipe inspection, analysis, and cleaning. Remember, BTJ is recognized as a leader in its field. Call BTJ at 1-800-628-6194.
Hi folks, how are you? This is Glendora. Dorothy brags, I have plenty of men at my feet. Her mother-in-law says, yes, plenty of men at her feet, all podiatrists. Pete said to the waitress, is the chef in? The waitress says, no, he's gone out to eat. A man saw a suit in a store window and he said to the store owner, may I try on that suit in the window? And the store owner says, no, you'll have to use the dressing room. If you own a store or a business, try TV advertising. Call Glendora TV Ads today. Hi folks, how are you? This is Glendora and here's today's jokes. In most beauty shops, the gossip alone is enough to curl your hair. And with all the fancy gadgets they have on cars today, why can't they invent a windshield wiper that won't hold a parking ticket? Sue says, my son is a born executive. He's only 5 and he already takes 2.5 hours to eat his lunch. Said Ed, the boss is a Renaissance man. Said Bill, yes, all of his ideas come from the 15th century. Get new business the 20th century way. Advertise on TV. Call Glendora TV Ads. Hi folks, how are you? This is Glendora and here's today's jokes. The policeman said to the woman, it says here you should be wearing glasses. She said, I have contacts. He said, I don't care who your friends are, you're getting a ticket anyway. Bob and Joan are the perfect couple. He's a hypochondriac and she's a pill. There was a fire in the elementary school. The first grader says, I knew this was going to happen. We've been rehearsing for it all year. What do report cards teach a parent? You don't be an athlete to raise dumbbells. Raise sales, advertise on TV. Hi folks, how are you? This is Glendora and here's today's jokes. Why was a baby shoe crying? His mother was a sneak and his daddy was a loafer. The couple came home from the honeymoon. He says, do you want to be president or vice president? She says, I'll just be the treasurer. A reporter said to a girl, what kind of sports do you like the best? And she says, the kind who spend their money and go home early. A man was holding a Cocker Spaniel and he said to his friend, what do you think of this Cocker Spaniel I got for my wife? His friend says, that's not a bad trade. Trade no sales for sales, advertise on TV. Hi folks, how are you? This is Glendora and here's today's jokes. Misers are no fun to live with, but they make wonderful ancestors. And Sue says, I'm not going out with you Friday night. And Bob says, what am I going to do with my weekend? Sue said, wear a hat on it. The operator says, that'll be $2.89. The man says, I asked you to reverse charges. The operator says, okay, that's $9.82. Ed says, I'm fit as a fiddle. His mother-in-law says, yeah, and shaped like a bass viol. Get your sales in shape. Advertise on TV. Hi folks, how are you? This is Glendora and here's today's jokes. Bob says, I'm able to keep my head above water. And his mother-in-law says, yes, that's because wood floats. And in spite of what you read in the newspapers, people do not die in alphabetical order. There are 3 ways men can wear their hair: parted, unparted, and departed. Remember, a woman's work is never done, thanks to daytime television. And if you look like your passport photo, you aren't well enough to travel. Increase sales, advertise on TV. Hi folks, how are you? This is Glendora, and here's today's jokes. Do you know how Harry made his waterbed more comfortable? He put water softener in it. Bob said, a mind is a wonderful thing. His mother-in-law says, yes, everybody should have one. And Charlie brags, I'm a born executive. And his secretary says, that's right, his father owns a company. Sam says, everything in this office is insured except the clock, and the employees keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on your sales. Advertise on TV.
I could never understand those restaurant commercials where you see a sirloin steak or Norwegian salmon being tossed around the kitchen. That never motivated me to dine at that particular restaurant. Hello, I'm Nick D'Agostino, and I'm the proud proprietor of Heathcote Crossing Restaurant, located at the Five Corners in the quaint village of Scarsdale. We feel we have all the successful components to make you, our customers, feel like they're number one while having lunch or dinner here at Heathcote Crossing Restaurant.
Hi folks, how are you? This is Glendora, and I found just the right flower shop for you to provide all your holiday needs. Magic Garden Florist in the Pelham Bay section of the Bronx. Here's a handsome owner, Anthony, and his pet bulldog. Come to Magic Garden for flowers, for weddings, birthdays, anniversaries, funerals. Magic Garden has exciting balloons, fine floral designs, novelties, cards for all occasions. And of course, Magic Garden has worldwide delivery. Magic Garden, a store of happiness and love.
Joyce Lucini, licensed cosmetologist with 25 years experience in cosmetics, can now apply your eyeliner and lip liner permanently. You can wake up looking the way you would like to look. You will not have to do your eye makeup again. Not when you are tired, not when you cannot see, not after you go swimming. Just go see Joyce at Joyce Salon, Central Avenue, Yonkers, 1-800-432-JOIE.
Sunday, okay. Here's the spare tire cover that belongs on that RV vehicle. There's the car cover. There's the bicycle beneath it. And then here is the barbecue. Now, this is a common area, and this place should not be a mess. I don't want to go over and show you the other half of the garage and how this has never been cleaned up since November. Today is a beautiful day, August the 22nd. And here are the leaves that have been here since November. right underneath the engine of the car. Here's all this junk up here on the roof. August the 22nd, 1982, Saturday. There's our linoleum. Seeing if we had had the rugs, linoleum would not have got all cut up the way it has. That's why we had the rugs. So we have the cost of the linoleum. This linoleum cost $100, and this one over here cost $100. We got them at Pergament. But it would not have got all chewed up like this. This is one of the rugs that is left. And there's the other one. That's the only two. 6 of them are missing. Now this garage should be all cleaned out, and it should be rented to the tenant upstairs. And then the Gallicanos wouldn't be over here all the time. Now today 4 of them came over. Lori, John Ehrenberger, and 2 children to take out this car. Here's the gasoline can. Just junk, and this is the way it's been since November. These people never clean up anything. August the 22nd, 1992, Saturday, on a perfect weather day. Time is 5 p.m. Okay, folks, this is the biggest one yet. This is the biggest morning glory yet. Today is August the 23rd, 1992, Sunday, 12:45 p.m. Hi there, everybody. How are you today? This is what happened on Glendora versus Gannett Broder, lawsuits number 1 and number 2. And this is the last page from the employee's handbook. And it says, benefits if you leave us. Well, I can think of a lot of benefits when these 10 leave. Now, August the 17th, 1992, Monday. Yesterday it took an hour to do the spoken chronology, an hour to copy, an hour to fold, stuff, seal, and mail 14 Broder logs. It cost $7 to mail and $12 to copy it. Today, Glendora filed and paginated, worked on her answer to the decision, and wrote the log. The ideal contract for a lawyer, folks, consists of words that are too difficult to pronounce and print that is too small to read. And Gannett Broder is spending thousands of the shareholders' dividends to try to cover up the fact they breached a contract. They cannot get away with it. Glendora interviewed the district attorney of Westchester County, Carl A. Vergari, on videotape. Last week she interviewed the district attorney of Boston, Newman Flanagan, who is to become the executive director of the National District Attorneys Association in Arlington, Virginia. You saw the morning glory. Wasn't that a sweet, sweet thing to see? Glendora saw Judge Ingracia in the elevator, and she told him a joke, and he told her a joke. And Glendora also talked to Judge Cowie. He was in the lobby. The decision about the hanky-panky was in the New York Law Journal. Let me just show you that. I think you're looking at it right there. We read all the journals for last week and all the decisions of the term and the division. They really don't amount to much during the summer. All they amount to is that such and such an appeal has been dismissed, and such an appeal, the time has been enlarged. It doesn't amount to much. I met the man from the New York Law Journal who picks up the off-the-wall decisions I told you about from the calendar clerk on the 8th floor in the county courthouse tower. And this man lives in Peekskill, and he picks him up on his way home, and he told Glendora about what a great paper the New York Law Journal is and how he has been working for it for 25 years. And if you cannot get a lawyer who knows the law, then you get one who knows the judge. August the 18th, 1992, Tuesday. It has been raining for 6 days, and I'm just another drip. Glendora is working on her answer to the decision on Hanky Panky, and adding up the time yesterday on Broder and today, the sum is 1.5 hours, and Glendora called the appellate term to see if her case is scheduled on the September calendar yet. And no, it is not yet. August the 19th, 1992, Wednesday, Glendora proofread the answer to the decision, wrote the log, and talked to the Fund for Modern Courts. Makes the time on Broder today 1/4 hour. Now, page 2, Glendora versus Gannett Broder, 2 lawsuits, what happened August the 17th, 1992 week. And here is the judge is going to rule on the warmest minutes. See, even millionaires cannot afford to appeal. The cost of the warmest minutes is about $80,000, and she says she's a poor person, and her father says that he can't afford to pay for the minutes. August the 20th, 1992, Thursday. The time on Broder today is 1/2 hour to work on the answer to the appellate term decision on sanctioning Gannett Broder and the Harrison Court, and 2 hours to do the spoken chronology, and that equals 2.5 hours. Glendora handed in her answer to the rent overcharge, equals $15,000. The Lincoln engine is back in the car. The crankshaft and rings are back in. It runs for the first time since August the 10th, 1992, Monday. That's 10 days. The rent-a-car is a Grand Marquis Mercury, and it is almost like a Lincoln. It is funny that that Ford would make a Mercury so much like a Lincoln. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. The bricks in the wall were loose, the lawyer said. We have a good case. We'll sue Mother Goose. August the 21st, 1992, Friday. It took 3 hours, not 2, yesterday to do the spoken chronology. Glendora returned addressed 14 envelopes and found out the Illinois address of John Lewis. His secretary did not receive any of Glendora's letters. Gannett Arlington did not forward them to Illinois. A lawyer said to the judge, I want a retrial on the basis of new evidence. And the judge says, what's the new evidence? And the lawyer says, I just found out my client has another $3,000. Time on Broder today is 1.5 hours. August the 22nd, 1992, Saturday. It took 1/4 hour to work on the answer to the decision, address and stamp 14 Broder envelopes, and do the log. Pete said to Ed, how much money do you have in the bank? And Ed says, I don't know, I haven't shaken it lately. John Lewis is not in most of the time. There is a recorder on. Again, Gannett's unsuccessful reporter, Eve Hine, is writing that Maraschini was the unsuccessful candidate for supervisor in Harrison. We know that Maraschini was the successful candidate. Gannett stock is $45.50. The symbol is GCI, Gannett Corporation Incorporated, and not one stockbroker has ever been able to look up Gannett for me without asking me what is the Gannett symbol. So I guess they are really not symbol-minded. August the 23rd, 1992, Sunday. It took an hour to do the spoken chronology. It took an hour to copy 14 Broder logs, to fold stuff and seal and mail. And what do you know about the speed of light? The professor asked the student, and the student says, all I know is that it gets here too early in the morning.
know what? Wait a second. You know, now you heard what she just said, right? Yeah. And that makes it sound like you have the problem. Why do you have to understand what she goes through? Do you think you have to?
Yeah, well, I don't understand it because I'm not a different color. People treat white people with respect and stuff. And I have a friend that's black, and he says, like, he goes to a store, people follow him, and he just tells them it's not fair and stuff. And that's not nice.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. You have a point. Yes, ma'am. You have a point.
Yes, I wanted to comment on the Koreans. If you guys are so afraid of black people, why do you guys have your stores in the community where black people live?
And that's the point. I don't know. Does anybody respond to the community want to comment on this?
The fact is that, well, the lady voice that
This is July the 23rd, 1992. Time is 5:30 p.m. 1992 Wednesday. Time is 6:40 p.m. I'd like to take a look at this junk, this rubbish. And it's placed by these people right here, the Vasquez, who live at 40 Longview Avenue. This is the owner of the property, Lydia Gallicano, 2 Longview Avenue. Okay, and this is tomorrow. This is Wednesday night. Tomorrow, Thursday's not even a picnic day of any kind. And this stuff has been here since last night. It's been here 24 hours. In the Lincoln. Big library parking garage. And that's is going to be it because it's pretty dark in here. Okay, this is June the 12th, 1992, Friday. Hey, how you doing? Fine, how you doing? This is June the 12th, 1992, Friday. Department of Sanitation. And there goes the flag. Society.
Hey, everybody taking pictures today.
Yeah. That's Lydia Gallicano. That's Lydia Gallicano. This is the owner of this property. She lives in that house. Okay, time is about 9 a.m., 8:57 a.m., June the 12th, 1992, Friday. Fade. This is Lydia Gallicano again. Now this is this kind of assault that she performs. She walks right toward me. To figure out the things that she does. Okay, fade again. It's 6:30 a.m. and it's August 2nd, 1992. There's a cellar wall that keeps coming apart. And here's the beam that isn't safe. I don't know if you can see that. That's the beam that's all twisted and not safe. This is the furnace. And This, see how the set tub leaks? It pours right out from the bottom of the set tub. There's a hole there and the water comes and leaks. Now, this is how we have to hang our clothes on makeshift clotheslines. This is the limit of our storage in the cellar over here, and then those boxes over there. That's our recycle. The recycle we take to the Brockway. We take it over there ourselves every Sunday. I'm going to show you this dryer. There's a, and there you can see it's unplugged. And it's been this way for 6 weeks. This dryer should have been fixed immediately. This is the fireplace I told you that was shut off. There's a wall over it, upstairs in the south room. Now, I've told you before that this cellar is damp. Okay. Take a look at this that I found this morning. What do you see? It's growing here in the cellar. This is the cellar bathroom. This is the wall to the bathroom. And there's the 2 mushrooms going there. Here's the water heater that we paid to run for the people upstairs, and boy do they run it all day long. This is the set tub that leaks. This one right here is the one that leaks from underneath. And this is the furnace motor that we pay to run. The electricity we pay to run for the upstairs. And that meter to your left is our meter, and that's the meter that pays for the front porch light and the front hall light, which we never turn on, but which the tenants upstairs burn all night. Now here's a refrigerator. After we cleaned out the cellar, this refrigerator was brought down here. It's the first step to messing it up again. And when we came here, you see that area right there? Okay, that was piled with junk. And it cost us something like $200 to get the junk out, to have the movers come and take the junk to New Rochelle. And New Rochelle charged us about $50 to take the junk. But we got this all clean, and it's not smelling so badly. And we put down these rugs to make it look good and feel good on your feet. And I'll show you their junk room is right here. And this is the one I told you about where they came and put a padlock on it. It used to be open. There's a bed in there and a mattress and a spring. And it's all damp and mildewed and moldy. It all should be thrown out. There's a dresser. There's more storm windows and storm doors. This is the cellar that we painted and made it look good. The stairway was a mess. We painted it white down and you wouldn't fall. We painted all that. The camera won't reach around there. The camera will, but the light won't. Anyway, we painted it all nicely. When you look at it from upstairs, it's nice. You open the door and you don't get sick to your stomach. And beyond this room, in the back of it, old dirty rugs and all kinds of junk. And this is where the poor Con Ed people had to go and walk over all of that stuff to read the gas meter, which is behind there. You can't see it. This is junk room number 1. I'm going to show you junk room number 2. This is going toward the outside. This is the cellar door. You see, every time you go through the cellar door, you hit your head there, and boy, does it hurt. We've had bruises and cuts and bleeding from that a lot. These are fire hazards, all these things. This is roofing stuff you use to fix a roof, and it just sits here and stores. Larry Gallicano runs a home improvement business out of it. You know, if you're going to rent a house, you don't use it. And if you're going to use it, you don't rent it. This is junk room number 2, and their junk room number 3 is the garage. These people never clean anything up. Never. They never make anything clean, sanitary, or tidy. Look at this junk.
Very good.
19. This Gallicano's next door. They're the owners of this. This is a pickle crock that belongs to them. And this is a globe. And that's the oil for the furnace, the meter, which again, this is August the 2nd, 1992, Sunday, around 6:40 a.m. I want you to see the mushrooms again. Look at the mushrooms. I really don't like this light. There they are. Let me get a close-up of them. Fade out. This cellar that we fixed up. This is the door you would open and you'd get the stench of musty and mold, and then in the cellar, the hallway here was all, it was gray and it was dirty and it was dark and you couldn't see going down the stairs. And so we washed it all, and there were big holes in the plaster. We washed it all and we fixed it all up and we painted it white. Now you open the door and you go down and you can see where you're going, and it takes away the hazard. That's our recycling. We put tin cans and bottles and plastic, and we take them every week over to where the Department of Sanitation is on Rockwood Place off South Kensico. And again, today is August the 2nd, 1992, Tuesday, 1992 Sunday, and it's after church and after communion, and it's about noon. Hello?
Hello, I'm the exterminator.
I do not want my home exterminated.
I was told to come here by the homeowner.
Well, I do not want my home exterminated, and
No, you're not paying for it. It's the homeowner who's paying for this.
number 3, I don't have any cockroaches.
Are you the only tenant here?
Cockroaches are coming, I think, from upstairs.
I have to get upstairs.
Okay, that would be the front door. I think that fumigating is injurious to my
I'm
health.
not fumigating. I'm using a paste. It's not, a chemical you smell.
Mm-hmm.
It's a paste.
I see. To my health.
I don't think it is.
So what is your name?
It's a compound of folic acid.
Okay.
My name is John. I'm from Parkway Extermination Company.
Okay, and your last name?
DeFilippi.
DeFilippi. Well, why don't you start upstairs first?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
All right, I'll start upstairs.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a basement?
No basement apartment.
Okay.
There is a basement, but nobody lives there.
Okay.
Okay, and it's not an apartment. Thank you. Okay, time is 12:04 p.m. on August 13th, 1992. Thursday. It blocks out the sun in this bedroom. Too bad, because this is the west side. There's a lot of sun on this side. The Plymouth is parked, and the Plymouth should be parked there. Green, I think, very pretty, and gives us a lot of enjoyment. Pretty, and I think these blossoms are pretty. Lydia, we're just over here for 10 minutes. And the time is what? What time is it? This is his Mario Bastos. August 25, 1992. What time did you say it was? 7:40. That's enough. I don't care. That's enough. This is my parking space. Get out.
What's the need?
Get out. Get out. This is my parking space. I do not want to. Gallicano with a threat. I'll call the police to come before I come over there and smack you in the. Okay, this is my parking space. I do not want this cut.
It's not in the way. It's just beautiful. Beautiful.
That is a threat. Smack you in the head. Comes Larry Gallicano. Here is Larry Gallicano.
The police too.
Mario, cut the hedges. Cut these
I do not want these hedges cut. It's my
hedges.
I do not want these
hedges cut.
Go call the police,
Cut
please.
the hedges.
I do not want these hedges cut, and I am not moving.
Are absolutely wonderful.
They're just beautiful.
Why don't they move out of here? Who are you? We've asked them to move. They don't leave.
How you doing? How you
I'm
doing?
not ready to talk to you on business.
On the beauty here, they're cutting.
Your hands with those things. They're very dangerous, okay? Those are very dangerous. Why don't you...
I'm not talking to you. I have the right to remain silent.
Okay, good.
Don't talk to you.
Well, what I can understand... All right, are we all?
Very much.
Yes, I need to say the first. What's your name? You know?
Okay, officer. Officer, what is your officer? What is your shield number? Officer, what is your shield number? Okay. Officer, what is your shield number?
Well, if you come over here and speak to me, I'll tell you.
I do not have to come to speak to you to get your shield number.
I really don't want to know.
Okay, I will come over and get it myself.
41 and 54.
How old are you, Franklin?
Don't tell him, Franklin. Okay, 41 and 54. Okay. What? My chair! Franklin, don't you say that. Will you please come and
Yes.
check the stairs
Yes.
over here for
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Move and
That's harassment.
That came me.
And you can find
Get up here.
M-O-V-E. Move.
harassment. Harassment. That's Mario Vasquez Jr. and that's Boris Vasquez. Policeman, and that's Lydia Gallicano and Larry.
What a shame. What a shame.
And this is the beautiful greenery that they
Beautiful.
slaughtered. You can have property look better, more. Okay, this is the awning and the picture of the court they're taken down.
Senseless.
Franklin, Franklin, don't. White Plains police officer. This is the White Plains police officer. Boris Vasquez, Mario Vasquez, Mario Vasquez. Thank you.
Franklin, how old are you, Franklin?
Franklin. Will you just lay off? He's harassing you. You have the right to remain silent. He constantly harasses you. There you are. There's more harassment.
doing, Jack?
What time is it, please? Has been added to the cellar. Glendora cellar without any consent by Glendora. It was just put here. This is the bicycle that used to be. As you can see, it's changed through the pipe. I just want to show you what a nice job we did this. When we started, there was rubbish and junk from 10 years, maybe 15 years, accumulated all along there. There was a whole bunch of rubbish over here where we have our files. This too of our files, very neatly stacked. And here's the rest of our files. These are automobile parts. That's the oil tank, and that pickle crock was here, which I cleaned all up. And there's the disabled dryer. That should be, and it's not. But let me continue. And this was stacked high with dirty things. All milled, all smelling, boxes of junk. And all along here was mildewed stuff and dirty old rugs, unbelievable. So he cleaned this all out. Way back to here was junk. This is the Con Ed. And I think it's dangerous to have this hole here for Con Ed. They have to come, they might fall in the hole. This is the front of the house and it faces south. Don't know what this is east. And then when Vasquez moved in upstairs without my permission or anything else, they start cluttering up the cellar again with this refrigerator. It cost me like $150 for the to get the junk out of the cellar, take it out of the cellar, take it in a truck, and take it to New Rochelle. And then it cost me $50 in New Rochelle for them to throw it away. Now, on the second floor there should be another meter that's hooked up to the furnace motor, hooked up to the water heater motor, hooked up to the lights in the front hall and on the front porch. As of now, we're paying for all three of those upstairs. And that's little Katie Cat. Okay, here's the dryer. And this is what the city of White Plains City Gal Connect. Right. It's never been connected, and we've been about 3 months without a dryer, which is an interruption of the services under the rental agreement. On these makeshift lines. The washer, this is the furnace. The water heater, and that's the bathroom over there. insane butchering, slaughtering, mangling. Look at that. And that was pretty. And now look at it. This was done by Maria Vasquez Gallicano last night, August the 25th, Tuesday, between 7:50 p.m. and 8:10 p.m. Great creation. Going up, we have another one. Now I want to show you this awning. Hideous awning. It's got all of the light in it to make it a nice, sunny, pleasant room. And now these cuttings, they're left all over the place. Cuckoo clock that fell on the floor. Picked up. This is the junk room they should rent or use. If you're going to rent, don't use it. If you're going to use it, don't rent it. Barbecue grill, bicycle car cover, and RV vehicle. It should go over this retard. But now I show you these cuttings. This is hot. It comes down here, and then it comes. Gallicano has blocked it. Down to this fence. Today is August the 26th, 1990. Thing of beauty. Off and on during and our little tomato. Tomatoes, plus some of theirs. Now that is the RV vehicle starting in the morning, fumes, and this is not good for a person's health. That vehicle should be repaired, something like an exhaust system or something, but oil fumes and burned fuel fumes really are not good. And this vehicle is parked right here, parked up against our bedroom. And 2-3 times a day when this vehicle starts up, you have these awful fumes. That little plate down there had tomatoes in it that we were ripening. And night, Sunday, there were a whole lot of kids here with the two kids from upstairs, Mario and boy. This morning, the tomatoes were all gone. Today is September the 14th, 1992, Monday. The time is 7:20 a.m. Today is October the 2nd, 1992. Yesterday, while both of us were gone, our greenery was smashed all along the north side of the place we rent. Now, this was underhanded, as always. It was a butchery of the greenery that we enjoyed. Some of my plants are missing. Some of my patients' plants are missing, just the way my rugs are missing from the garage floor. This wasn't done while we were present. They waited for both of us to be gone, and then they did it. So we'll take $400 off the rent for this one. This is another breach of warranty, interfering with our right to have, hold, enjoy in peace. The Gallicanos do not live here. Okay, we live here. We pay our rent. We live here. The Gallicanos do not live here. Twice, Lydia Gallicano said that Glendora could plant tomatoes on the north side of the house, could plant things on the north side of the house. This is a change, a substantial change in the terms of the tenancy. These people are lawless. They have to be brought to justice. Now this is our greenery also in the corner. It's a beautiful fall day, October the 2nd, 1992, Friday. The time is 11:30 a.m. Some of our greenery is coming back here at the end of our parking lot. What a beautiful day. This is the cellar door where Franklin keeps hitting his head and getting huge wounds in the top of his head. Again, October the 2nd, 1992, Friday at 11:30 a.m. And our greenery has been butchered fiendishly and waited until neither of us was present to do it. And that would have to be Thursday after 3:55. We left here at 3:55 p.m. Thursday yesterday. What time did you come back?
6:30.
6:30. Did you notice it gone then?
No, I didn't. It was dark.
October the 4th, 1992. And you are looking at the work that was done Friday, October 2nd. In the afternoon, after we went out about 2. We came back at 5, and there was a man in the cellar doing this work. So that's the support of the beam, but it looks to me like the beam is still crooked, if that was the problem. So he placed this post and this block of wood between the beam. And he taped all those wires and that cable, those electrical cables, to the beam. And he did some cement work. Now the total time couldn't have been very long. It was done all during that afternoon, because as I say, by the time we got home at 5:30, he was still working and pounding. And then he cleaned up and he was gone out of here about 5:45. And Ginny Cat was watching him all the time. Now here's this second beam, and there was a hole here. If you remember, there was a hole in the floor. So he just put the beam into the hole and cemented that. I keep saying beam, he put the post in the floor to push up onto the beam. Now here's another beam that he added. Right here. And that's up against the old wooden beam. With a screw. As I say, it was just one man. One man did all this. And Lydia got home around 5:30 and she came into the cellar and she talked to him. He was pretty neat. There's not much cleaning up to do. Some sweeping there. So we'll see if this the building department inspects it and approves it. This is October the 4th, 1992, Sunday at 5:15 a.m. 3 beams added. 3 posts added to support the beam. And today is a windy, hurricane-y September the 25th, 1992, Friday. As you can see, the greenery that was butchered by Lydia Gallicano is beginning to come back. And when it comes back fully, Glendora will pay Lydia Gallicano the $200 that Glendora deducted from the August rent. And if she ever interferes with our warranty of habitability, our right to hold and have to enjoy in peace, Glendora will deduct $400 from the rent. See, this used to be so much nicer. All the way across, it was like living in a garden. And Savage Lydia had to demolish it. To say nothing of the lilacs. Trees. There was a knock at the door, the front door, at 2:18 p.m., and it was John Ortberger. Pause. That's the fourth knock. And that looks like his wife, Kathy. Lori, rather. Okay, he's leaving now, and he's going to Lydia's next door, and his car is on the street. So I think he rapped on the door about 7 times. Now, what time is it? Let me show you the time. "71 degrees in, 66 degrees out, and it's 2:21 p.m. and this is October the 10th, 1992, Saturday. And he's talking to Lori now. And now he's going into Lydia's. Now it's interesting to note that Lydia's car is not here. There's the garage. And Lydia's car is not there. Neither is ours. So fade. Oh, this is the telephone. This is probably Warrenberger. Okay, let's take care of this. Hello?
Hi, Glendora. This is John Ornberger.
Okay, put him on hold. Okay, what time was that? That's at 2:22 p.m. 2:23 p.m. So you just have to keep this going, because I've got work to do. This is very disruptive. You know, I've got a lot of work to do. This takes a lot of time. So the tape is running. Looking at the typewriter. I'm going to go back to my work. So I'll bring the camera in here. I don't know whether he's gone or not, whether his car is still here or not. I've been in the back room working. But it kind of looks like he's gone. Okay, time is 2:28. None of the telephones is ringing. He went into Lydia's house to make the call. So I think we'll fade out here and turn the camcorder off. Some treats waiting for Franklin. This is so pretty out this window. So pretty. This is Saturday, October the 10th. $1992. Time is 2:30. Here are these doors I worked on to try to make them look decent. I really couldn't do much with them, but I worked on them awful hard. And here's the door he was pounding at. So I guess that assault is over for the time being. The view is so pretty from these bay windows. This is really the best house on the street. It was built early and it was built well. It's built before the 1900s. It's the biggest house. It's too bad it fell into bad hands. We eat by candlelight every meal. Here's the gritty bathtub. It's a nice bathtub. It just needs to be re-porcelain. This is without the benefit of a light. This is where the cockroaches come down from upstairs. See, all of our food is in lid-tight containers. Okay, let's turn it off. Fade. It's Mario Vasquez, son.
Can you get that on my face, please?
I want to see real baseball players. I think they're playing the National League Championship Series tonight. Way better than us. Because you're the distracted. You know, I should call the cops right now. Come on. Can you please get that on my face?
Two-car garage that we share. That's our part of the garage on the left. And that is our parking space over there, where the Lincoln is now. As you can see, the Lincoln is not a compact car. It needs all the space that it can get. Now, when we moved here, this side of the garage was packed high with junk, items that belong to the Gallicanos. Such items as you see right over here on their half the garage. And they've never cleaned out this half the garage since we've been there, the whole year that we've been here almost. And this over here, well, first of all, they did clean out their items. And they took them out like this, down the driveway. And they put them on the tree belt for the city to pick them up. And so one night I came home, and the garage was nice and clean. Everything was gone except this very large crate that was full of sand, dirt, and straw. And it was leaning right there up against that window. So every time we got out of a car, the car door hit this crate. And this crate was very heavy. And they had left some of those windows and doors over on our side. So Franklin and I, and then also because the garage had so much of their stuff in it, when we came, we couldn't get the linoleum down. So we moved everything in the back of the garage that was theirs over to their half of the garage. Then we were able, and then we had to move the crate. That's what we did. This crate was tremendously heavy. And we moved it and we leaned it right up against that wall. And then we were able to get the linoleum all the way in. It's actually 2 linoleums. So we were able to get the linoleum all the way in. So once we had done that and swept out everything, made it nice and clean, we took that crate from this wall right here, and we leaned it up against their side of the wall. And this was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1:30, 2, around there. And daughter Lori Hornberger came over while we were cleaning this up, and she got her mother's car here and drove out. It's beyond me why she didn't see that crate. Well, the crate sat there from the middle of that afternoon, and it's certainly visible from the Gallicanos' house, which is over here. And then they're over in this yard all the time getting this car in and out. So it certainly was visible, the crate. And then we took the crate, and I say it was very heavy. We took the crate down this driveway, and on through the tree belt. I'll show you where on the tree belt. Right here where you put the rubbish on rubbish day. Right there. right there in the tree belt. Now, certainly that crate was visible from this house where the Gallicanos live. Lydia Gallicano lives. Right here. That crate was certainly visible on the tree belt. And that crate sat on the tree belt all that morning until the rubbish truck came, which is usually about 8:30 or 9. Now, the whole day went by, and around about 5 o'clock, Larry Gallicano called Glendora and told her that inside of that crate there was a piece of marble. Well, nothing but dirt and straw could be seen in that crate, and it seemed like junk to us. And since they didn't claim it when it was over here on this side of the garage, or when it was over here on that side of their side of the garage, and since they didn't claim it out on the tree belt, you know, how could we think that crate had any value to it at all? This is the scene. May 18th, 1992, Sunday. See, this is my path. See the flagstones? I come along the flagstones, along the hedge, and I should be able to come right out onto this sidewalk. But instead I have to turn to the house and grab the drain pipe and try to get over the fence there. See, there's new nails there to bring the fence up higher. That was done last week sometime, Friday or so. And I hurt my leg this morning going over this fence. But I have a right to walk around this property. And I do walk around it every morning at 5:30. Flagstones are right along there. And they come right down to here. You should be able to come onto the sidewalk and then walk around the house like this. House needs a paint job, don't you think? The linoleum. The light, of course, isn't so good. But there's 2 linoleums here, 9 by 12. And the reason I had the scatter rugs was to put along the track of the wheels to protect the linoleum. But when the scatter rugs were taken and never to be returned, the linoleum got all chopped up. And the linoleum's really ruined because now water will go through it, the holes. And get underneath the linoleum and corrode it from underneath. See, this floor really should be fixed. The floor is very uneven with that hole in it right there. Water gets in the garage and we can never go to the car after 2-3 days after a rainstorm without getting our feet wet. And this has led to some serious head colds, one of the worst ones I ever had. I thought it would never go away. You can see the break in the linoleum here, where the scatter rugs would have prevented all that. Over here, the floor is uneven too, and here's a big hole in the linoleum. Now this is the one of the 2 scatter rugs that is left. And I found these. Here's the other one. See, these were nice to stop the wear and tear on the linoleum. This is the second linoleum. I found these. They were leaning over here on June the 4th, after Vasquez's car was in this garage. That's the board we put up to stop the exhaust from going onto the wall, onto the cinder blocks. So there's more damage to the linoleum from not having the scatter rugs down. So the linoleums are really ruined. And I showed you the receipts for those. And the scatter rugs are gone. And I think they were thrown out by Lydia. And that would be without our consent. When we left for New Jersey that afternoon of June the 3rd, which was a Wednesday, we had our scatter rugs here. And we came home from New Jersey in the evening. They were gone. We've never seen them since. I'm videotaping this on October the 21st, 1992, Wednesday, at 12:45 p.m. That's Lydia's car. And that's all their junk. You see too, you see these beams up here? This isn't safe with all this junk on it. Supposing these gutters and these pieces of wood, which are up there very securely, supposing they should fall in our car and damage the roof, or damage the hood, or damage the truck. Now you see that's right up over our car. Where our car goes. This is right over. This is more a breach of the warranty of habitability. You know, if you're going to rent a place, you rent it. You don't use it. If you're going to use a place, you don't rent it. Garage. I'm going to go in there and show you. The light, of course, isn't so good. But there's 2 linoleums here, 9 by 12. And the reason I had the scatter rugs was to put along the track of the wheels to protect the linoleum. But when the scatter rugs were taken and never to be returned, the linoleum got all chopped up. And the linoleum's really ruined because now water will go through it, the holes. And get underneath the linoleum and corrode it from underneath. See, this floor really should be fixed. The floor is very uneven with that hole in it right there. Water gets in the garage and we can never go to the car after 2-3 days after a rainstorm without getting our feet wet. And this has led to some serious head colds, one of the worst ones I ever had. I thought it would never go away. You can see the break in the linoleum here, where the scatter rugs would have prevented all that. Over here the floor is uneven too, and here's a big hole in the linoleum. And this is the one of the 2 scatter rugs that is left. And I found these. Here's the other one. See, these were nice to stop the wear and tear on the linoleum. This is the second linoleum. I found these. They were leaning over here on June the 4th. After Vasquez's car was in this garage. That's the board we put up to stop the exhaust from going onto the wall, onto the cinder blocks. So there's more damage to the linoleum from not having the scatter rugs down. So the linoleums are really ruined. I showed you the receipts for those. And the scatter rugs are gone. I think they were thrown out by Lydia. And that would be without our consent. When we left for New Jersey that afternoon of June the 3rd, which was a Wednesday, we had our scatter rugs here. And we came home from New Jersey in the evening. They were gone. We've never seen them since. I'm videotaping this on October the 21st, 1992, Wednesday, at 12:45 p.m. That's Lydia's car. That's all their junk. You see too, you see these beams up here? This isn't safe with all this junk on it. Supposing these gutters and these pieces of wood, which aren't up there very securely, supposing they should fall on our car and damage the roof, or damage the hood, or damage the trunk. Now you see that's right up over our car. Where our car goes. And this is right over. This is more a breach of the warranty of habitability. You know, if you're going to rent a place, you rent it. You don't use it. If you're going to use a place, you don't rent it. And this is something that happened yesterday. Today being Friday, October the 23rd. All of this stuff was either pulled down or fell down on its own. Came off of the stucco wall. All of the vines. See what you're looking at? It's missing paint. It isn't vines. And I remember last January that we cleaned this all up. See, that's all stucco, stuck onto the vines. If it was done by somebody who did it. All these things always happen when we're not at home. Picked up those vines from over there, where you see the shadows of the vines, and I put them over here. And this is Saturday, October 24th, 1992 at 8:50 a.m. So, I will have to ask one of my garage repair friends, to whom I've given so much money to repair the Lincoln, if they will let me put this in their dumper. I'll cut it up into small pieces. Then I'll have to go over here and pick up the